everyone, it's Chukuma, also known as the Mastermind, from Mastermind Automobile Solutions Limited. Happy New Year. Today, I want to talk about how to have problems in 2025. We've been talking about how not to have problems, how to avoid this, how to avoid that. Today, we want to tell you things that you will do to have problems this year with your vehicles. Kindly stay tuned, like our page, subscribe, leave us a comment. The number one way to have problems with your car in this 2025 is to do prolonged engine service. Some people will tell you that, oh, I don't need to service my car for 20,000 miles, 10,000 miles, 15,000 miles. I don't need to do even the barest minimum of oil changes within this period. This is one sure way to end or to finish your engine this year. Now, the thing we notice whenever we carry out repairs, overhaul engines, or try to rebuild, we see engines that are really, sludged up because people don't change their oils enough. An engine service requires a number of things, but oil change is the barest minimum you can do. So if you want to kill your engine, neglect even this barest minimum. Don't change your engine, leave it for as long as possible. Understand that even manufacturers will state that if you use a car daily, especially through adverse circumstances, whatever they write, all those 15,000 miles, 20,000 miles, does not apply to you. But if you use your car very sparingly, you barely drive, you can change it once a year just to keep things running. But day-to-day driving, you're stuck in traffic, you're putting the car through strenuous situations, and you want to go 20,000 miles, 10,000 miles before you do an oil change, you're welcome. Number two, racing a cold engine. When you start your car in the morning, you're supposed to let things get to optimal level, let the temperature get to optimal level, and if you have engine oil temperature gauge, on your dashboard, on the clock, you should also watch it to see that it gets to optimal level before you can start racing to your heart's content. Now, if you go and start racing your car immediately, you're damaging things internally. You're ending the life cycle of your engine. So you need to ensure that things get to optimal level. But if you want to kill your car in 2025, race your engine. In fact, when you start it up, match am, raise am, so that the thing go show say the engine sharp. After all, and so we go chop. That's how you get us to eat. So you're free to do these things. Have car problems is not thinking too much or thinking well enough before you sell your car. You see some people, oh, I want to sell this car, help me sell this car. But they've not thought about the replacement for that car. Now, when they've sold their current car and it's time to replace the car, they begin to run from pillar to post. Money no dey oh, how we go do this thing oh, what do we do oh? Because they sold their current cars without looking at the market, without doing consultations to know how they want to replace the car. Now, it's a different thing if you don't need a car again. Maybe you've ruled out car ownership for that period. You just want the money. It's totally different. But when you're looking to upgrade your vehicle or you want to sell your vehicle for whatever reasons to get another one, you need to think very well. Or else, you go just a trek. You go, now Legacy Benz, you go they use. Another way to have car problems this year is buying a car you can't afford to keep. Now, if you followed us through last year, I highlighted this well enough that people should be wary of the kind of cars they buy. When they put it, in line with their income, there are certain cars you have no business owning if you're not on a certain income level. What business do you have going? So when some people make some requests or meet us that, oh, I need this car, I do some sort of evaluation. You may not even know I'm doing such evaluations as we speak. And immediately I catch a point that tells me that you may not be able to maintain this car without grumbling or without, breaking your bank. I'll highlight it. I'll tell you that, are you sure this is what you want? You have no business owning some vehicles. Now, some vehicles are not well made. Some vehicles are extremely expensive to keep running. So you have no business owning such vehicles. So if you have such vehicles, if they are brought to you, no matter how cheap, you should be able to turn them down. Of course, things are different when you start earning well, when money is not a problem, you can drive whatever you want. Now, I can walk on the streets any day or be somewhere and see a certain type of car. I know people that will recommend it to, people that will be ready to pay, or people that will keep it in mind to pay. And I know people that I wouldn't recommend it to because I know what the cost of ownership of that kind of vehicle is. So if you don't want to have car problems, avoid buying what you can't afford to keep. Now, understand that many of these cars are not necessarily may not necessarily be expensive to buy, but when you buy them, the cost of maintenance and repairing those cars will take a toll on you if you're not careful. Another way to have car problems in 2025 is deliberately abusing your car. You know, you see some cars and people, the owners have completely finished them. The car does not have a good body. The interior is gone. The electricals are a mess. There's nothing really good about it. There's nothing you can say to anybody. You have no excuses for such a thing because it's your own car. You can't say, oh, it's my mechanic I blame, or this is what happened. The truth is that you gave that car to people that brought it to that state, or you did it yourself. So that comes to responsibility of car ownership. You can't own a tacky car and then tomorrow you bring it out and put it out for sale and expect good money from such a car. You have to take responsibility. You have to take care of your car. If you deliberately abuse your car, whether knowingly or unknowingly, as long as it's abused in your ownership, that is one sure way to have car problems, to have money problems, and a lot of wahala in this 2025. And then that brings up to us to the next and the last point, which is giving your car to people who do not know what they are doing. You know, it's telltale signs. There are ways you can know that, okay, this person knows what he's saying, this person knows what he's doing. But what a lot of people do, especially Nigerians, they want the cheapest service possible. You know, people don't have problems sometimes paying for parts or even sourcing the parts by themselves. But when it comes to labor payments or things like that, you would see them trying to cut corners, trying to look for who would do it cheaper, you know, whether the person is skilled enough or not. Car ownership is a huge responsibility. That is why if you cannot shoulder such responsibility, you're better off not owning a car, or you're better off owning something you can actually afford to keep. So if you're going to own a car, especially a high end car, keep it in mind that the cost of ownership is not child's play. You have to keep things moving, keep things well maintained, and you would have to pay for it. So where you want to cut corners, where you want to use people that don't know what they are doing, that is one sure way to have problems in 2025. I hope this video has been of help. We've been preaching, but if you like, if you want to have problems in 2025, you're free to implement any of these things, and we will surely be here to, you know, look through things and solve things for us, for you. After all, that's how some of us get to eat, because if you don't have problems, there will be no we or us. So we encourage you, if you want to have problems, implement all these, and 2025 will be very close. Kindly like our videos, subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment. Thank you.